Hi everybody, I'm Debi Adams and I'm a creative designer at Spellbinders, and I'm so excited to be here at Scrapbook.com. I have two great projects to present to you today. Both of the projects involved Seth Apter's Splat Die, and as you can see, one is a candle. I'm not going to show that today, but I'm going to show how you can take what I make today and put that on a gift like that. Where I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful mixed media card. And then how to change up that look and feel of the grunge to something more feminine. And so I'm going to get started with both of these projects by cutting them out first, and then we can start doing some of the assembly. I always use one of my Spellbinders machines, and this happens to be our Platinum 6. It's one of our smaller machines, but it accommodates so many different types of dies. We will be using today are chemically etched dies. And that's what this splat die looks like. It comes with the circle piece and with the splat in the center. And that's what I'm going to be working with. What I've done for the card here is I've just cut it out of mixed media paper. So I'm going to take a sheet of that. Whenever I cut with my chemically etched dies, I'm going to use my platform, a cutting pad. I'm going to lay down my material and put the cutting edge of my chemically etched die face down onto that paper, and then I'm going to place my cutting pad back on the top. Now you'll notice on my cutting pad there's a lot of little marks left on there, and that's very normal wear and tear on the cutting pad. It is taking the impression from that die and placing it right into the cutting pad, perfectly normal. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through. If you'll put your hand at the top of the machine as you're running it through, it'll keep it steady and in place. So here's my first die. Now what's kind of cool about this, I'll show you, is there's like lots of parts and pieces. And for this particular die, I'm not going to use it, but for the card, I want to save all of those parts and pieces. We have a tool called a tool-in-one, and it helps pop out all those little pieces in your die. Now this one comes out fairly easy because the pieces are quite large, but with some of the Spellbinders dies, we have scrolls and really tight little pieces, and this rolling tool on the tool-in-one really helps get out all those little tiny parts and pieces. And for those that might get stuck, we also have a little what we call a pointy tool, but it's a little pokey tool on the end that just goes ahead and cleans out some of those spots that might have gotten stuck. So for our other project right here, I'm going to be using some of our adhesive foam. It's a little bit thicker, and there's an adhesive on the back. And the reason I want to do this is I want to make this particular die a little more dimensional. So I'm going to cut this out. I might even cut out two of them. So again, it's the same premises. You're going to put down your platform, your cutting pad, put your die on top of your material, place your cutting plate on top, and then run it through the machine. Now the one thing I do want to tell you about working with this foam felt, when you run it through the machine, it's not advisable to go back. You can do that a lot with paper and it'll stay in the same position, but with foam felt, for some reason, the die has a tendency to move a little bit, and so you get a double cut line, so I wouldn't advise doing that. So here's what my little parts and pieces look like in this die, and I'm going to save all of them, but right now, because I haven't gotten this prepared for the project, I'm going to leave all the parts and pieces in there and then peel it out, and you'll see what I'm doing in just a few minutes. So that's the two cutting parts that I'm doing, and now we're going to move on to assembling and embellishing the card, both cards. Okay, so now we're ready to get started on that first card. Now you saw that I cut this out of mixed media paper, but I left the center in here on purpose, and that's because I want to use that to color in my flower. Now, normally this would pop right out, and to prevent that, I'm going to go ahead and put a pop dot on there. And I'm probably going to put a couple because I want that to be raised up anyway. So, and now I'm ready to work. And what I did, my favorite thing to use is watercolors. And I've got some Daniel Smith watercolors right here. And I just put a little in the tray. And this color happens to be Redondite Genuine, and it's a really pretty color. So I put just a little bit in there. They go a long way. And I'm going to use my water brush. I've got the Brutus water brush. And squirt down a little bit. And all I did to get started here is add a little water in there. And then just kind of started swirling. You don't have to be a skilled watercolor artist to do this. I just kind of moved it all around. However I wanted it to be, you know, kind of move the water around a little bit. And that's my little rose. When it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and add some little dots with my marker. But for now, I'm going to let that dry. And what I've done is you saw that I had pre-cut this gold piece. And I think it kind of gives it a little bit of more glitz. So I'm going to put this on top of here. You got to kind of line it up. And of course, I'm going to use one of those pop dots I love so much to raise it up. And you know, if you don't even line it up right, it still looks kind of good. You just want some little shimmer there. So now we're going to emboss our paper, and we're going to place this on top of our platform, and we're going to put a cutting plate right on top of it, and then insert it into our machine. And then we're going to get this beautiful pattern, and we're ready to put that on top of our card. So here is our card base. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, extends out to 11, folds in half. And then this is the pre-cut piece that I just embossed, and we're going to put that right on top. Isn't that pretty? I mean, that card is really pretty without anything else on top of it. At least I think so. So we're going to use the pop dots, put that on there. Put that right inside there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue. But for this sake, I'm just going to tuck these under here. And that kind of adds my leaves. These are our velvet leaves. And there you can see your flower. We'll hot glue that in just a minute. And then I've gone ahead and stamped up a sentiment. It says Thinking of You. It's by Altenew. And put this right on top of there. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. Mother's Day card, Thinking of You, get well, whatever. Really nice, quick and easy, and it's a really different look for a kind of abstract mixed media type die. All right, everybody, are you ready to get down and dirty? Because this is the funnest part. I love mixed media because it's all about grunge and messy and playing and layering, and that's exactly what this card's about. In reality, most mixed media people don't necessarily make cards, but we're going to go ahead and make that today. So to get started, I'm going to use a piece of mixed media paper, and then I'm going to use some distress inks. I've got Chipped Sapphire in Vintage Photo, and I'm just kind of smashing them on my board here. You've probably seen this done before. And I love a little bit of the sapphire. And I think I'm going to use some Faded Jeans. This is the refill ink, just maybe here and there. And I'm going to mist it all up. Let those little drops kind of start to form. If you don't get enough, you can always go back. And then I'm going to take my paper, I'm going to dip it in there, rub it around, and then come up with it. Well, not very dark, but that's not a problem at all. I'm going to wipe this down, and I can either do it again, or I can go in and add color a different way. So let's see. Maybe I'll put my little ink pad in here a little bit. It's my little sapphire. Maybe a little bit of this here. And try misting it a little good. Ooh, look at that. Isn't that cool? No two pieces are alike. So we're just going to move that color around. And then if you want, you can go back and add some more color down here on your table, your work table. I kind of like when there's little pills. This one might be a little bit damp to do this. There's little pills, like these little spots right in here. That makes me really happy. So we're going to try and see if we can get some of those. See, I got a little bit more in there. It's just coming around. Just keep layering and trying until you get the look that you like. Add a little bit of brown. Okay, so we're going to let this settle in. I kind of like all that funky blue up there. It's going to be broken up pretty soon by the Splat Die. All right, so now we're ready to start embellishing our foam piece. And the reason I picked this foam piece, obviously, is that it does have some dimension to it. And I'm going to go ahead and use some the distress paints. See, what color is this? This is walnut stain. I like to get started with a little bit darker base. And then I just keep adding the layers until I like what it looks like. The secret and the trick for me is when I'm doing this is that I don't want my object to obviously look like it's a piece of paper. I really want someone to walk around and say they found it like down on the ground. It looks rusty and old or whatever. So just keep kind of coming back and forth, and then I'm going to show you a fun little technique that I actually learned from Seth Apter himself, who is amazing with all his layering techniques. And then the fun starts. I'm going to show you some fun techniques. Now this is what Seth has taught me before, is to take some fun textured backgrounds that you might find like wallpaper or just sandpaper or whatever. We're going to run some of these colors back over that. And it's really just transferring that paint over on the top so that you add some little details that are fine. It doesn't look like much now, but the more you add to it, the greater it looks. And these don't all have to be the same textures. Like I have the burlap that's sitting over there. See how some of that patina is coming in there? They're pretty cool. So I'm really coming up with a new look there, a new color. Now Seth also has a stamp by Spellbinders, and it's called Matrix. And I love it because it has all these little nooks and grooves and fun marks in there. So I'm going to put a little bit of that. I guess this is called cracked pistachio. I'm going to put a little bit of that on there just by putting it onto the stamp. And notice this is so rough. You don't really have to put this on an acrylic block. You can blot it a little bit before you put it on. Don't want to put too much. I don't want a pattern. So now I'm ready to go. And I can just start popping off these pieces. And this is an adhesive back, so I can put these pieces on however I want. But you'll notice that some of that white is showing through, so I'm just going to come back in through with some ink and color this up, because I really don't want anybody to see that this is foam, obviously. I like vintage photos, probably my favorite color, mostly because it's a warm brown. Okay, so now I'm ready to go. I like my nice messy table. That's exactly mixed media, but it's the fun part of it. You have a lot of discovery here. So here's my other dried piece of paper that you saw me doing earlier. I have a little bit of, all those little tiny residuals down on the bottom, which I absolutely love. Now, if I want to go back in and add color, I can take my chipped sapphire with my matrix, bring that little shading in on this. It doesn't really matter where. Here you can see I've added all those little grooves. I'm going to add a little bit of brown, and then I'm going to be done with this. And I always like to finish the edge, so your eye doesn't go off the edge. So I'm going to come back in here. Okay, and now we're just going to mount this onto our piece of black paper, like so. And it's wet, so we'll see how it will take. And let's go ahead. I'm going to put this on with Pop Dots. I'm really a girl all about Pop Dots. I go through them like water. Ask anybody. So my Pop Dots are there. We'll see. This is still a little damp, so we'll see if it'll take, but we're going to go ahead and get this going. Next, we're going to go ahead and put our little piece on here, and I use some string first. String is kind of what I like a lot, and almost on every mixed media piece that I create, I will almost always have some piece of string. I guess you could call it kind of my trademark or branding. And now, remember, this is all sticky back here. And we'll peel this off to put this on. Now, I went ahead and I cut another piece of this out of black just because I wanted to give like a shadow behind here. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over and just tip it to the side. I just like the interest it creates. And we'll put that on with a Pop Dot, and that's ready to go. And remember all those leftover pieces, those come in really handy too. You want to put them on your project as well. So there's all that piece, pretty cool. And now we're just going to add a sentiment. I've already gone ahead and stamped up with Altenews stamp set the thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put this right onto my card. Like I said, most mixed media artists aren't going to be making cards, but I've been one that's been breaking rules lately. So I'm definitely going to do that. So those are two different projects today. Can you believe this? From this really pretty little card to this really grungy, probably manly card, you can do the same thing with one die. It's a Splat Die and it's by Seth Apter. Thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more from Scrapbook.com, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a message. Happy crafting!